What's going on, guys? It's your girl Tech Job Tina coming back at you. You know what time of the week it is. Today is Sunday. This is the day where I come and I bring some jobs so that you can see who's hiring. So I'm not going to waste too much time. We're going to get right into it. I got about 7 jobs we're going to look at. These jobs, I actually sourced them from LinkedIn. And before we get into it, just want to lay a little bit of the ground rules for how I typically like to do my who's hiring. I don't know where everybody is from, so every job that I look for is always a fully remote role, and I try to find jobs that are fairly simple to transition into if you don't have a lot of experience in that particular field. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. Let's go. The first one is a company called Flock Safety. They're looking for a customer experience associate. This job was posted just 3 days ago. Flock Safety is an all-in-one technology solution to eliminate crime and keep communities safe. Most of us have seen these Flock Safety cameras. They put them at a lot of entrances into apartment complexes, into subdivisions. You may see them like on highways and streets. Those cameras are basically there to take pictures of people, places, and things. They also snag like your license plate numbers and things like that. If you have seen a camera like that, it's more than likely a Flock Safety brand camera. All right, so this company right here, they're looking for an individual that's willing to work a shift between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. So they said exemplary time management skills are necessary. You got to have the ability to manage multiple tasks at once, critical thinking, a desire to solve customer problems, and effective communication through the customer experience are all key components to be successful in this role. How you'll make an impact. You will become an expert on all things flock safety. You will serve as a valuable resource for current and prospective customers alike. You will provide quick, friendly, and high quality assistance to all customer types via phone, live chat, and email. You will empower our customers by sharing tips and best practices on how to effectively use our software. You'll be partnering with product, engineering, operations, sales, project management, and customer success teams to tactfully resolve escalated situations. Let me touch on that bullet point for a minute. Now, mind you, I'm giving you roles that are like the gateway into the role you really want to be in. This role right here, they already told you you're going to be collaborating cross functionally, right? So, and what I mean by that, you're going to be collaborating with a bunch of different teams. Some of these teams might be the team that you really want to work in. When you think of, okay, I want to break in tech and I want to do X, Y, Z, it may be one of these. You'll be partnering with product. Maybe you want to go into product. You'll be partnering with engineering. Maybe you want to go into engineering. You'll be partnering with operations, sales, project management, customer success, right? You may want to go into one of those fields. So this role right here will put you in a position where you can rub elbows with people from all of these different departments within the company, right? Next, it says you'll be making recommendations to flock safety products and magnify your impact and drive change across the network. You will contribute to Flock Safety Customer Help Center to help reduce the need for customers to contact us in the first place. And this is where they touch on what your skill set needs to be for this role. Have demonstrated excellence in customer facing roles for 2 years. No brainer. Most of us that have had worked anywhere, we've probably got some experience that will check the box there, right? For example, current members of the team have prior experience as 911 dispatchers, technical support, and in the hospitality industry, just to give you some examples, right? Next, you need to be someone that is comfortable supporting customers through a variety of contact channels, including phone, chat, and or email. Bonus points for experience with Salesforce or Jira or a similar tool. So go out here on his internet, look at Salesforce, look at Jira. Both of those have free options. You can play around with them both and get familiar with the tool. You can get familiar with any similar tools as well. Next, you need to have excellent written and verbal communication skills. You need to have experience troubleshooting technical software and finding creative solutions. I wouldn't think too hard on that one. Most of us, we have the experience. You might think you don't. A lot of us try to think about experience as it relates to workplace experience, but a lot of us have personal experience with troubleshooting technical software. How many times have you had to upload a or download or whatever some type of software onto your computer, onto your phone, and it had some issues and you had to troubleshoot and you had to fix it? How many times around your house have you had a technical issue that you had to troubleshoot? Maybe your printer went out, right? Maybe something funky was going on with your internet. Maybe your Roku was tripping, whatever it is. These are all technical things that you have had to troubleshoot and fix. So don't just think, oh, okay, they're just talking about on the job stuff. No, this is whatever you've done, period, right? So you need to be able to pull from all of your experience and use it as transferable skill to land these roles. So just start thinking outside the box. Don't always think that your experience has to be affiliated with a job, because that's not always the case. All right. Next, let's see. It says you need to have the ability to work independently, prioritize, and manage multiple tasks. You can provide clear examples of delivering exceptional customer service while working efficiently. And you're willing to work the shift between the two sets of hours we talked about. Either you need to be able to work 8 to 5 or 11 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. And then it says right here, it says, if you're feeling uneasy that you haven't ticked every box, that's okay. We felt that way too. Studies have shown that women and minorities are less likely to apply unless they meet all of the qualifications. We encourage you to break the status quo and apply to roles that would make you excited to come to work every day. And this is what I touch on a lot. If you got 50% of what they're asking for, apply. There's not one person out here that's going to check every single box. In fact, if you check every single box, a lot of these employers are probably going to consider you overqualified for that job. I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way they think, right? They don't expect you to know everything, right? So keep that in mind. If you meet half of what they're asking for, apply for it. If you don't meet half, you meet 30% of what they're asking for, apply for the role. All right. So now they have a 90, 30, 60, 90-day plan for what you can expect when you first get hired. So 90 days at Flock. We are a result-oriented culture and believe job descriptions are a thing of the past. We prescribe to 90-day plans and believe that good days lead to good weeks, which lead to good months. This serves as a preview of the 90-day plan you will receive if you were hired as a customer experience associate at Flock Safety. So it says the first 30 days, you're going to start to learn your role along with systems and tools necessary to complete required responsibilities. You will listen in on phone calls and respond to customers via email while asking for approval before making changes and sending responses. You will now take any case, including more advanced ones, as you will now be familiar with the system and the tools. And you will continue meeting with culture carriers and VPs. That's your first 30 days. Now, by your first 60 days, you will have continued to expand Flock OS knowledge. You will potentially be answering inbound sales line calls based on demand. You will answer more emails per day as you become more familiar with common issues and troubleshooting. You will contribute to established knowledge bases. You will be self-sufficient in maintaining your own personal queue, as well as keeping up on any ongoing cases with other internal teams. So by 90 days and beyond, this is where you should be at. You should be very familiar with the software and hardware to the point that you can answer internal questions in Slack help channels. You should be proposing improvements that could be made for a better customer experience or personal projects. And if needed, you will also begin on incoming chats from the website, and you will be participating in weekly progress reports that should show that you are performing at a high standard around the same level as other existing customer experience associates. And then they go on to tell you a little bit about their interview process. I like how they lay this out. They try to eliminate the unknowns. You want to know, what's the first 90 days look like? They just told you that. Now they're telling you what the interview process looks like, and then they'll get into the perks. But the interview process, they say, we want our interview process to be a true reflection of our culture, transparent and collaborative. Throughout the interview process, your recruiter will guide you through the next steps and ensure you feel prepared every step of the way. Okay, so your first chat. During the first conversation, you'll meet with a recruiter to chat through your background, what you could bring to Flock, what are you looking for in your next role, and who we are as a company. So this first chat is going to be with the recruiter. This is when you want to have done all of your research on the company. You want to have done some research on the recruiter so you can ask some personal questions about them and why they chose Flock and yada, yada. This is when you want to prove you've done your research about the company and you want to be able to sell why you are a good fit for the role, right? Next, you're going to go to the hiring manager interview. You will meet with your potential future boss to really dive into the role, the team, expectations, and what success means at Flock. This is your chance to really nerd out with someone in your field. They're telling you exactly this is your chance to nerd out with someone in your field. You'll do the same thing. You're going to do a little research on who the hiring manager is going to be interviewing you, because a recruiter is going to tell you who's going to be interviewing you. So you're going to do your research on that person so you can come up with some personal questions and ask that hiring manager to get them talking about themselves. The magic of interviewing, the more you can get your interviewer to talk about themselves, the more they like you. It's the most uncanny thing, but it works, right? Which is why it's so important to do your research on the person you're going to be interviewing with, so you know what types of questions to ask. Now, when you get in this hiring manager interview, you're going to ask questions that show them that you've done your research about the company. And you're also going to ask questions that give you more insight into the role, like what it takes to be successful in the role. What are your best performing customer experience associates? What are they doing? What are the ones that are maybe not as successful? What do you think they're doing wrong? How can they improve? Or any questions that you can pull to make it look like, yeah, not only have I done my research, but I'm very, very interested in this role, right? So after the hiring manager interview, they're gonna give you an assessment. You're going to complete an assessment to test your customer support skills pertaining to the role. Then, after your assessment, you're going to have a peer panel interview, which, when they say peer panel interview, is probably going to be 2, 3, possibly 4 people that you're going to be interviewing with, and they're all going to be asking you questions. So it says to learn more about the team responsibilities and workflows, you should be prepared to speak about past projects, how you collaborate and communicate with others, and how you live Flock Safety's values, right? So that's pretty much the interview process. So they got a recruiter screen, you sit with the hiring manager, they give you an assessment, and then you have a panel interview last. All right. Then they go on to talk about what your salary is and talk about equity. In this role, you'll receive a starting salary of $55,000 along with Flock Safety stock options. The base salary is determined by factors such as job related experience, education, training, and market indicators. Your recruiter will discuss this in detail during your initial conversation. Now I go into the perks. You're going to get flexible PTO, plus 11 company holidays. You're going to get fully paid health benefit plans. So you'll get that's medical, dental, and vision, and an HSA match. They're going to give you family leave. All employees will receive 12 weeks of 100% paid parental leave. Let's see here. You're also eligible for an additional 6 to 8 weeks of physical recovery time. Then they got some fertility and some family benefits in here, which are pretty good. Flock provides a $50,000 lifetime maximum benefit related to eligible adoption, surrogacy, or fertility expenses. They also have some mental health benefits that you can tap into. They also have caregiver support. They've partnered with a company to provide their employees with caregiver support. Maybe you're taking care of an elderly parent or whatever the case. They also have equity tax advisors who can address your individual grants, model tax scenarios, answer general questions. Then they also have ERGs at their company as well. These are employee resource groups, and they're usually grouped by a particular interest or hobby. You can find a group that kind of fits, your particular interest or hobby. They also have a work from home stipend. They're going to give you $150 a month to cover the cost of working from home. Then they also give you a productivity stipend. They're going to give you $250 a year to use on Audible, Calm, Masterclass, Duolingo, Grammarly, whatever you want to use that on. Then they're also going to give you a home office stipend. So they're going to give you a one-time $750 so that you can create your dream office, right? So very, very good perks right there, right? So this is a pretty solid opportunity to get your foot in the door at what seems to be a really good company. I'll make sure you get that link. Let's move to the next one. So the next job is a company called CBRE. So those of you that have a real estate background, you're probably familiar with CBRE. They are the biggest commercial real estate and investment firm in the world. So you're saying, well, it's not a tech company. Every company has a tech side. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. They have thousands of employees. They're going to have an IT department. They're going to have a cybersecurity department. Whatever tech-related department you're trying to go into, they're going to have that because they're a huge company. So, yes, we can break into tech. Doesn't mean we're breaking into tech always at a tech company. You can be breaking into tech with a traditional company in their tech department. So keep that in mind. But this particular opportunity right here is a business ops support role. So let's dig into it a little bit. It is, of course, remote. Everything we're talking about is fully remote. It says this job is part of the contract quality management job function. They are responsible for managing the delivery of contractual services to ensure requirements are fulfilled. You will provide administrative management of supplier contracts, certifications, and documentation consistent with internal and client requirements. So this is what you'll do. You're going to evaluate and administer agreements for contracted services. This includes preparing new contracts, renewals, and amendments. So this is very administrative, paperwork heavy. You're going to coordinate compliance procedures, facility maintenance, and landscaping requirements with vendors. You're going to identify safety, operational, and maintenance issues, schedule support for special facility maintenance and repair projects. You'll be tracking vendor performance, utilizing established processes and systems. And let me stop right here. A lot of this sounds like it, like for those of you that want to go into GRC, GRC has a particular niche that falls under them is called third party risk management, right? That's a whole role. They have third party risk analysts, and all they do is work with the vendors. All of the third party vendors that that company is using as a third party risk analyst, it is your job to onboard new vendors, run due diligence on vendors to make sure that bringing them on is not going to create a liability for your company. You're monitoring these vendors. You are there if that particular vendor has a cybersecurity breach of any kind. Be there to keep those vendors in check to make sure that they stay on the up and up so that they don't pose any liabilities for your company. And I bring that up because a lot of what this role is outlining right now sounds a lot like that GRC adjacent role of a third party risk analyst. So this could be a great way maneuver into a GRC related role within this company. All right. You'll be assisting with project management process involving internal and external contributors and vendors. That's another opportunity. If you want to be a project manager, you'll be assisting the PMs, right? So they're going to get to know you in this role. You will lead by example and model behaviors consistent with CBRE RISE values. You will impact the quality of your own work. You will work with standardized procedures and practices to achieve objectives and meet deadlines. You will exchange straightforward information, ask questions, and check for understanding. This is what you'll need. They prefer a bachelor's degree. Notice it says preferred, not required. With up to 3 years of relevant experience, right? This is where I can't stress this enough. Know what your transferable skills are, right? If you don't know what they are, you can lean on ChatGPT to figure that out. And if you're a novice to ChatGPT, it's free. Start playing around with it now. Once you get that tool, you're going to use it every day. I use ChatGPT every day for something. So if you're not using it, start using it right now. All right. It said up to 3 years of relevant experience. It said in lieu of a degree, a combination of experience and education will be considered. You need to have the ability to use existing procedures to solve standard problems. You need experience with analyzing information and standard practices to make judgments. You need in-depth knowledge of Microsoft Office products, including Word, Excel, Outlook. This is basic stuff they're asking for. You need the organizational skills with strong inquisitive mindset. So that what you need list, that was a nothing burger. That was the most simple list of what you need I've probably ever seen, right? Um, let's see here. So CBRE carefully considers multiple factors to determine compensation, including a candidate's education, training, and experience. Look at this. The minimum salary for the business ops support position is $65K a year. And the maximum salary for the data center technician position, I'm assuming they have two roles. That one is $75K a year. The compensation that is offered to a successful candidate will depend on the candidate's skills, qualifications, and experience. So y'all, 65K a year is really great for this role. It doesn't sound like anything hard to do at all from the way that the job descriptions read. And a lot of us are going to have the transferable skill to qualify for a role such as this. So I'll make sure you have a link to this one. Let's move to the next one. The next role, Lot 44 is looking for an SDR. East Coast base. This role was posted just 5 days ago. You got someone you can reach out and touch right here. This guy, Nikki Downing. Let's see here. And then it tells you a little bit about The job is Lot 44. They said they're proud to be hiring for the rapidly growing cybersecurity startup in the cloud security space. So this is where you're trying to go with your career. Maybe you want to get into cybersecurity. Maybe you want to get in the cloud space. This role is going to be one for you. They're looking to hire an SDR to help grow out the service. They will suit this will suit an individual with startup experience in a boom market. You can be based anywhere on Eastern time zone with the territory to be defined. As an SDR, you will be the first point of contact for potential customers, responsible for generating and qualifying leads to build strong sales pipeline. You'll work closely with the sales and marketing teams to identify opportunities, engage with prospects, and set up meetings for the sales team. And then they go on to talk about the requirements. This is the wish list. They would like it if you have previous experience in a sales or a lead generation role, preferably within cyber or SaaS technology environment. Any startup experience would be advantageous. They would like it if you have excellent communication and interpersonal skills with the ability to engage and build rapport with prospects, strong organization skills, attention to detail, self-motivated, goal-oriented, able to work independently, proficiency with CRM software such as Salesforce, ability to understand and articulate technical concepts in non-technical audiences, a positive attitude, resilience, and a desire to continuously learn and improve. The majority of that list, y'all, was soft skill stuff. Soft skill stuff. And I want to touch on that. Soft skills is one of those things that maybe I have taken for granted, and I think a lot of us do. I've been in meetings lately where I'm noticing that a lot more people lack soft skills than what I thought, right? And it's little stuff that you'll see that'll happen, like people will interrupt others when they're speaking and not apologize, or people will talk down on others and not even realize how unprofessional they sound. It's like little things like that. I mean, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, okay, do I need to just put together a soft skills course and just throw it out for free? Because a lot of people, at least more than I thought, actually lack soft skills. Soft skills will get you in the door faster than any amount of hard skills. I don't care how good you are at what you do. If people don't like you, they're not going to hire you. So if you're someone that needs to brush up on your soft skills, you definitely going to want to do that because it will keep you from landing a role. You can tell from an interview who has soft skills and who doesn't by the way they interact with the interviewer. So let's see here. So I'll make sure you get the link to this. They don't say anything about the money at all. So definitely go to their website, see what information you can find, do your research, go to RepVue, poke around and see if you can find out what they're paying for this role. Let's go to the next one. All right. So the next one is a company called Civic Plus. This is a good company. I've actually applied to them before in the past. They're looking for an SDR. Let's see here. This position is not available in the following states. They got about a dozen states they're not going to hire in. So take a look at that and see if that applies to you. But still a fully remote role. Looks like the job is offered in the majority of the states. So if you're looking to break into tech sales or bring your sales experience to a home for long-term growth, you have come to the right place. And notice what they said. If you're looking to break into tech sales, they're letting you know right now they're open to people that are transitioning into tech sales. So that's good. Whether you're a recent grad or changing careers or looking to expand your sales career, our team has a rich history of developing and building successful sales professionals. Right? All right, so they said their ideal candidate is an individual that's looking for rapid growth through the SDR ranks. And this is how they said they do it. You'll go from SDR1 to SDR3 in a span of 12 to 18 months. Now, typically, I think this is dope when they do that because typically what happens is you get those pay bumps. You know, you start at an SDR1, this is the salary, then they bump you to SDR2, you get a raise in your base pay. They bump you to SDR3, you get another raise in your base pay, and all while still having a totally uncapped commission situation. So you're still getting your bonus checks and all that. And you're just getting a bump, you know, in your salary along the way. So I think that's kind of cool. All right, so let's see here. Talk about your responsibilities. This is all standard SDR stuff. You'll be doing outbound calling to government agencies. You'll be calling to government agencies to drive opportunities for the account executive team. You will manage a pipeline of target prospects and learn to analyze and diagnose KPIs to drive performance. And then they got a little bit on here that talks about what's a day like as an SDR with our team. I actually like that. I mean, I wish more job descriptions would do stuff like this. I wish more job descriptions would give you what's the first 90 days look like here? What's the interview process look like here? Like, really let people know what they can expect if they're working with your company or trying to get on with your company. I like that transparency, right? That says a lot about a company when they actually take the time to do that. Right. So they said each day you will make 50 outbound calls and 20 emails to target prospects for the products your team is focused on and book meetings for account executives. So for those of you that are thinking that 50 outbound calls is a whole lot of calls, it's really not. That's average. Usually it's anywhere between 50 to 70 calls a day is what they expect you to do. There are some companies out there that want you to make 200 calls a day, and that to me is absolutely insane. Like that would drive me shit if I had to make 200 calls a day. 50 calls sounds like a dream when somebody tells you you got to make 200 calls a day. And you got to figure you're having an 8-hour workday. That's less than 10 calls an hour, right? So when you put it into perspective like that, it's not a lot of calls, all right? And the reason why they do that is the majority of the phone calls you're going to make, you're not going to get anybody. You're going to get gatekeepers, so you ain't going to talk to nobody, or you're going to get voicemails. So you got to make more calls to increase the likelihood that you actually have more conversations, because a lot of times straight to voicemail, right? All right, so then it says, unlike many sales organizations, we distribute the best accounts for you to target so you don't have to waste time hunting and searching for places to call. Tons of opportunities to collaborate with your peers in morning huddles, call reviews, and team syncs. You'll get one-on-one weekly syncs with your manager and individual coaching session compensation. So you come in as an SDR1, your base guaranteed salary is $45,000 base. And then, of course, then you'll get plus an uncapped commission. Doesn't say what their OTE is here, but just know the commission is uncapped. Let's see, you get comprehensive health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, flexible time off, 401k, and more, it says, right? All right, so let's see here. I'll make sure you get that one, and let's keep it moving to the next one. All right, so the next one is a company called Gordian. They're looking for an inside sales representative for new business. You got someone you can reach out and touch right here, and let's get into it. They're seeking a proactive and results-driven SaaS new business inside sales representative to join their growing team. The role focuses on acquiring new customers and driving sales for their transactional SaaS products. The ideal candidate will have a strong sales acumen, excellent communication skills, and a passion for technology and innovation. Your responsibilities. You'll be identifying potential customers through research and networking, initiate contact via cold calls, emails, and social media. You will qualify the inbound leads and convert them into sales opportunities through a consultative sales approach. You will conduct engaging product demonstrations and presentations to showcase the value of their SaaS solution. You will manage the entire sales cycle from prospecting to closing. So this right here for you guys that you want to be that account executive. Like I know some people that finish course careers and they didn't start as an SDR. They started as an account executive. If that's what you want to do, you want to go straight for it. This role is a good role for you to do that because you will actually be prospecting and closing your own deals, right? So for this, they also said you'll be working closely with marketing and product teams to align strategies and ensure customer feedback, and you will be staying responsible to stay informed on industry trends, competitive landscape, emerging technologies to identify new business opportunities. So then it goes into a little bit about the qualifications. This is the wish list: bachelor's degree in business marketing or a related field or equivalent experience. Proven experience in new business development, preferably in the SaaS industry. Strong communication, negotiation, interpersonal skills, technical aptitude, and the ability to understand complex software solutions. Now, when they say this right here, this can actually deter some people because you're like, oh gosh, that makes it sound like it's difficult. Technical aptitude, they just want to be sure that you can grasp things. They don't expect you to come in the door knowing everything, all things techie. They just want to know that you can learn things, right? Okay, that you can come in and learn their tech stack, right? That you have the ability to do that, right? Or that you have the ability to understand, their software solution so that you can actually teach it to someone else, right? Doesn't mean you got to come in the door knowing all this stuff. They just want to know that you're able to be taught these things. Right. And then, of course, problem solving skills, excellent organizational time management, resource oriented, a lot of soft skill stuff in there. And then it says experience with CRM software. Like I said before, Salesforce and SalesLoft. You can look up both of those tools. Salesforce is your CRM. SalesLoft is going to be your dialer and where you can keep up with a lot of information as it relates to your pipeline and things like that. It's just another sales enablement tool. Just look them both up and do your research. All right. So let's see here. Did I see any talk about the salary? Okay, it's at the bottom. The salary range for this position is 69 to 129. So what that tells me is your base pay is going to be 69,000 plus an uncapped commission. It looks like your OTE is probably going to hit somewhere around 100K, a little bit more based on that band that I see they put in there. So I would say at least $100,000 OTE, maybe a little bit more since they decided to say 129. It's probably a little bit more than 100K OTE once you include the base pay and the commission. All right. So make sure you got that one. Let's go to the last one. So the last one I have is a company called MedMetrics. They're looking for a support enablement specialist. This job was posted a couple days ago. You got two people right here. You can reach out to touch. One of them is on the hiring team, Lauren Muddle. She's the global recruiter right here. So a little bit about the role. The support enablement specialist will play a critical role in driving the efficiency, responsiveness, and scalability of our various support functions. This is a highly cross-functional position, but the support enablement specialist will serve as a key escalation point, collaborating with technical and operational teams to optimize workflows and enhance the overall support experience. So did you hear that? You will be collaborating with technical and operational teams, right? So you'll be collaborating with the very people you may want to transition into later, right? So, like I said, this is another opportunity to get your foot in the door. You'll be rubbing elbows with people on teams that you might want to move over to later. You just got to get into this role, do a great job, and then move within the company. So here it says Jira experience is needed. Y'all, Jira got a free version of the tool. Go play with it. All right, so duties and responsibilities. Act as a strategic partner to the manager of customer support and other internal stakeholders. Champion adoption of new tools and processes through training and knowledge-based development. Collaborate with stakeholders to enhance Jira functionality. Contribute to the development and execution of support and escalation frameworks that identify and address issues, including critical system-wide issues, ensuring timely resolution and proactive communication to stakeholders across the organization. Design and implement internal feedback loops to capture insights from support interactions and translate them into actionable improvements. Participate in technology support calls to address recurring issues. Support the design, testing, and implementation of automation and self-service solutions. Understand and comply with information security, HIPAA, and PHI policies and procedures. Now, that's some GRC stuff right there. Let's see, other duties as assigned. Use, protect, and disclose patients' protected health information only in accordance with the health insurance, only in accordance with HIPAA. Understand and comply with information security. They keep mentioning this, right? So they're real serious about this information security. They talk a lot about, the PHI. So that's definitely falls under that GRC related umbrella. So these would be really good skills that you could highlight on your resume if you were to get into this role and you want to move into that GRC type of career, right? Then they talk about the wish list. Look at this, high school diploma, right? Or equivalent, right? You get this job with GED, basically, right? 3 to 4 years of customer service, customer support, service desk, or technical support role. Experience supporting SaaS software applications. Knowledge of Jira and Confluence preferred, right? Knowledge of ITIL or ITSM frameworks. Proactive, system-oriented approach to problem solving. Strong analytical skills. Proficiency in Microsoft Office. Strong interpersonal skills. Strong problem solving. Well, there's a lot of soft skill stuff in here, right? And other than that, let me see here. I didn't see any mention of salary, so that's something that would have to be negotiated for this role. But I'll definitely make sure you get the link, so go after it if you are interested. All right, guys, that completes the who is hiring for this week. I hope you found something in there that you were interested in. Make sure you apply to those roles tonight. This is what I would do for all the jobs on there that you're interested in. Go ahead, make sure you tailor your resume for that role. Hone in on your transferable skills that will highlight why you're the best fit for that role. Write a cover letter. Doesn't have to be a stuffy ass cover letter. Write a cover letter that shows your personality, that shows why you're a good fit for the job. Something that's fun to actually read. You know how many resumes these people got to read? How many stuffy ass cover letters they got to read? Do something different, be interesting, right? And then once you applied and you submitted your resume and your cover letter, you're going to go to Hunter.io or Apollo.io, two softwares that have free versions. You're going to figure out who the recruiter is of that company, who the hiring manager is of that company that would probably be someone that's over that particular team you're trying to get into. And you're going to find their email address. You're going to go to ChatGPT. You're going to craft a very nice, to the point, short email saying, hey, I applied for the role. This is why I'm a great fit for the role. I love an opportunity to sit down and speak to you. I'm available this week. Just say, just put something together like that, shoot it to that person directly to their work email, connect with them on LinkedIn, follow them on LinkedIn, engage with any of their posts, whatever you got to do to make yourself noticed, because recruiters got a hard job. They got a lot of resumes to comb through. And if you can make yourself seen, that's going to actually make their job a lot better, especially if you got a resume that fits what they're looking for. So help them help you. All right. But other than that, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please like the video, comment below. If you are applying to any of these roles, I will see you on the next Who's Hiring. Enjoy your day. Tech Job Tina is out. Peace and blessings. Bye.